Hi everyone, it's Niamh here and welcome to my art journaling channel. Today we're going to be playing around with some magazine collage and focusing on hand-lettered quotes. So I'm starting off with my blank page and I'm going in with some white gesso over this stencil from Stencil Girl. So it's just a mark making stencil. It's got also just different patterns in the background. I just want an unusual base, I suppose, to start work from. So I'm using gesso to create a gesso resist, which is kind of giving the reverse of the stencil process, I suppose. So once I've got my gesso stencil through, I'm just going to dry it off. You can see I've got a big blob of paint in the middle. The way to test if anything is dry is to rub your hand over it, apparently. And then I'm going in with my paint, this is blackberry paint, purple, and rubbing over the top. So while it's still damp, then I'm getting a wet wipe and wiping the excess paint away, and you'll see I get this resist. So I still see the stenciled image. It resists the paint stays where it was a naked page underneath. So it's a really cool way to get a reverse stenciling technique. Then I'm just using my washi tape to go in and create a border, and then using my black pen to just really frame that up. So the reason I'm sort of going for orange and purple is because I found this image in a fashion magazine which just really captivated me. It was a whole series. It was all rainbow bits. So each page, the model was dressed in a rainbow of colors, but monochromatic. So there was one page that was orange, one page was green, and so on, which I really loved. And it's just such an unusual pose. It really sort of struck me. So what I'm doing is, I haven't added much to this. I have just added a hat on, which again I cut out of the magazine, and some oversized sunglasses, and I'm just outlining everything with a black pen. In the end, I decided not to do too much to this image. I've added a little bit of color to it, but I really wanted to keep it as monochromatic as I possibly could. So I'm thinking about, I suppose, color opposites. Now, for the life of me, I'm pretty good in my color wheel, what you would think, but I still get stuck on my head that purple and orange are complementary colors or opposite colors. Complementary colors? I can't remember. You see, I'm obviously doing really well with my color wheel at the moment, which they're not. So what I do think it's blue and orange that are complementary, and it's purple and yellow. So it's a primary color and a secondary color. But for some reason in my head, purple and orange are stuck together. I think it's because of all the Halloween palettes and so on you see with purple and orange. I really have to think about it. However, long story short, that's the reason why I chose this turquoisey colour to complement the orange. So it really sort of stands out. So any highlights I'm doing on this page, so the bottom of the trainers, the dots on the jacket, we're done with turquoise. The same with the glasses. So I've still got this sort of monochromatic thing happening with this highlight in the background. I also took inspiration from the washi tape in the background, because it has those sort of orangey blue colours in it. So it's sort of all just played together really nicely. Then I'm just putting in the tread of my trainers. I didn't draw around her hat, but hopefully I'll do that at some stage. I did decide that she's going to have funky mirrored glasses, so she ended up with those. I have coloured the hat with the orange pen. And that's what I sort of really love about the paint pens. You can kind of really match them to any colour. So that orange sort of just really was almost the exact match of the orange of the magazine image, which I really loved. So once I've finished fiddling around with my image, then I'm going to get on to creating the quote, I suppose, for my page. So with images like this, my big consideration is the space that I have to work with. And obviously with this page, I've got all that space on the left-hand side that I can add words into, or a phrase or something. Usually when I'm doing a quote, I will do a larger quote, sorry, when I'm doing magazine collage, I will probably do a larger quote on one side and smaller journaling on the other, depending on what my page is about. If it's just a quote for quote's sake, I tend to not do journaling with it. If it's actually something that's really bothering me, or it's something I feel really passionate about, or I want to explain why I've written the quote on the page, I may do some smaller journaling on the other side to balance it out. So usually with my magazine collage, there tends to be two sides to it, and I usually pop my image a bit like this, kind of off center, so the page is kind of just split into two, if that makes sense. I'm just doing my final bits and pieces on my, adding my dots to the hat and so on. So you've got a very customized image. So with this, I'm going in with my quote, and I'm using the colors I've used on the page. So I'm using the orange as my main color, and then I will go around with my turquoise later. So I use my paint pen because I've got a completely sealed background with acrylic paint, which means if I make a mistake with my spelling or a spacing, I can wipe it away with a wet wipe. I don't use pencil first. I get a bit heavy-handed with it, and it marks my page. It doesn't stop you from doing it, so you do whatever suits you. I just like going straight in with paint pen. So you saw when I first did this quote, I just wrote it out in very plain letters with quite big spacing. To fill the page, what I've done is then gone in with my paint pen again in the same color, and I've widened the letters and lengthened the letters using triangles on the ends to sort of fill in the extra space I have, because I want it to look like it only just fits and it fills everything in. The other thing is you can see where whatever comes has been written onto the person or onto the magazine quote. I don't mind that, because for me, it's a quote that's more important on these pages than the image itself. So I don't mind writing over top of it, particularly over a leg, which, you know, isn't necessarily all that important. You can still see it behind. It's not covering everything over. So it really doesn't matter. So don't worry about your spacing. Same goes with the borders. If I need to write over the border, I will write over the border to help me fit it into the page. To help make the writing really pop on my page, not only have I given it a drop shadow with the turquoise, I've also gone around the entire page, or entire letter, sorry, with a black pen. And now I'm going in with a white pen to highlight that turquoise. So on the right hand side of the turquoise, I'm just putting a little bit of white pen too, which you'll see in the close-up. So it's just another way to add detail. If I wanted to, I could make my key letters using dots in the middle of them to help that really pop it out as well. But you can see by adding those extra lines and extra colors to the fonts, it really helps them pop out from the background. Same where it's written over the leg, you can see having that extra color to it helps it pop out from the background. So have a go at writing on your own pages. It's lots and lots of fun. It means you can really customize what you're doing, play with the colors, play with the spacing on your page, and make each piece of artwork your own. Thanks for watching. Until next time, bye for now.